For your lesson this week, you have learned about the French artist Seurat. Seurat is best known for his pointillism paintings, where he builds layers of hundreds of dots of colour to create an image. But today we will look at this portrait of the artist's mother. We will be thinking about how to use tone to recreate this portrait. You will notice in the portrait there are no strong outlines and the portrait fills the whole page. I love the use of tone in this drawing. It looks like her face is illuminated by a candle and the rest of her is in darkness. Whilst you are drawing, keep referring to this image to help you create the right tones. For today's drawing, you will need something to draw on. So earlier I tried this technique on paper, and in the video I'll be using a piece of cardboard. Also, you'll need a pencil. You can use also a black colouring pencil, and I've also got a sharpener and a rubber. If you don't have these, you can use whatever equipment that you do have, so any other kinds of pens or pencils would work well. My paper / cardboard is A5 size, so this is a normal piece of A4 folded in half to make A5. I think this is the best size to use to get enough detail in the 35 minutes that you have for this drawing task. The main aim of this task is to understand how you can create a portrait using mark making and tone instead of using bold outlines. We want to fill the whole paper or cardboard with tone to create this effect. We use different scribbly and textural mark making to give the feel of a Georges Seurat drawing. You have 35 minutes allocated for this drawing, so I'd spend the first 5 minutes doing a light sketch and then 30 minutes adding tone. So just wanted to go through a few different techniques for creating tone on the cardboard. So we know about creating a sort of gradient of tone and building up pressure to create a variation of tone. And we've also considered before in the video cross-hatching. But today I'm also going to use more interesting marks, such as sort of like nice scribbled marks. When they're quite tight together, it creates dark areas of tone, as opposed to more loose squiggles creating softer areas of tone. So yeah, using a combination of these is going to help create much more interesting drawing and much more variation of tone. I have just faintly sketched the outline of the face, keeping in mind the rules of proportion we have learnt the last few weeks. The eyes are in the middle of the face. You just need a rough outline of the features. We can see in Seurat's drawing, his mother is looking down and she's also shown slightly from the side. So you just need an outline of her eyelids, nose and lips. By the time you've finished this drawing, you won't be able to see any of this sketch as your page will be full of marks, so it really is just a rough outline. Now it's time to start adding tone to your drawing. Throughout your drawing, keep checking the original Seurat drawing to make sure that you're accurately copying his use of tone. I'm going to start adding tone to the darkest areas of the drawing first. This will help me have a gauge of different shades of tone. I'm drawing squiggly and scratchy lines to create this dark area. Throughout the drawing, I'll keep coming back to this area to add more layers to make sure these areas remain the darkest. I will now speed up the video of my drawing, but you can keep it on in the background while you complete your drawing, and I'll give you some more tips along the way. I have included Seurat's original drawing in the side of the video for you to reference. Here I am adding tone to the negative space around the face. There is not much detail in this section of the drawing, so you can have some fun with loose mark making and big scribbles. I am now adding in some lighter tone to the side of the face using open squiggle lines. Then I have added some tighter squiggles to create the darker area of the hair. Down the right side of the face is one of the darkest parts of the image, so make sure you add lots of marks here to build the tone. Keep layering on top of your marks to create tone so the whole paper is covered, even across the face. You can pull out the details of the face using smaller squiggly lines. So you can use these around the nose, eyes, and the mouth. If you are struggling to know where to add more tone, then squint your eyes and see if any of the areas are jumping out at you. If they are jumping out, this means they probably need blending in a bit more. You can do this by adding some softer lines whilst you layer. In Seurat's drawing, there's really nice gradient of blended soft tones. So make sure that you're not having really big contrasts in between the darkest and lightest areas, and there's always this transitional tone in between. When your drawing is almost complete, you can use a rubber to bring out the highlights. I spoke earlier about how it looks like the face has been illuminated by a candle. So you really just want to highlight the cheekbones and along the nose. You really don't want to be trying to rub out large sections of your drawing to make them lighter. If you think they are too dark, perhaps what you need to do is make the areas surrounding them darker and adding more marks, and this will make the areas that you were thinking about rubbing out appear lighter, and it will give your drawing much more depth. So once your timer for the 30 minutes for this drawing goes off, you can take a photo of your work and upload it to the PowerPoint to submit. But if you want to spend a couple more minutes just finishing it off, if you feel like it's not quite done, that's fine. After your 30 minutes of drawing, you should have something a little like this. Your whole page should be filled with marks to create the tonal portrait. You shouldn't be able to see any strong outlines of features. Hopefully you are really pleased with your drawing, but don't be disheartened if it doesn't look like an exact replica of a Seurat. As you can see, mine doesn't. but I'm sure you will have created a great portrait using blended tone and interesting marks, and hopefully you'll feel confident to do this style of drawing again in the future.